Good morning to you. First thing this morning, we are heading straight over to BBB headquarters for our Extreme Growth Mastermind. This is full of our 100k plus turnover businesses who are all absolutely committed and on target for doubling their turnovers and doubling the size of their businesses this 12-month period. Every single one of them is currently on target. The journey has been like that for some, it has been like that for some, and it has been like that for some. But they are all on target to double their businesses this year. How awesome is that? How inspiring is that? I love it. I love being in that environment, and that's what we create, environments for people to bring out the best in them, to help them grow, and also to put people in a room who can support you, hold you accountable, but also can plug some of those gaps in your skills gaps, and maybe even with your creativity and innovation. Anyway, go jump in the car, head over there. What a stunning, beautiful morning it is this morning, and I'll check in with you throughout the day as always. Have a good day, be awesome, and be productive and successful doing all that you do and all that you endeavour. Check you in just a little bit. So what an awesome day of masterminding we just had. Some really good rounds, and again, you know, it just goes to show me over and over again what a great environment that we've created, what great people we've attracted to our mastermind. When you see the amount of help and support that is in that room for each other, masterminds are absolutely about pushing you. They're absolutely about holding you accountable. They're absolutely about setting goals and growing as an individual and pushing harder and fighting harder for what you want. But also, you know, our masterminds are very much there to support you through the tougher times, you know, and most people, they just don't have an environment where they can go and be authentically be challenged, whether it be by business or in their personal life, whatever it might be, and get a real honest support from other people to get them back on track. It's not a support group, it's not a therapy group. What it is a room full of truly ambitious entrepreneurs who are real people who face real challenges, and we're there to get the best out of each other, and sometimes that means needing to be there for each other, and we've created an unprecedented mastermind in that to that capacity, or to that end. So anyway, I'm now heading off to Surrey. We're heading over to Mercedes Brooklands to talk at Progressive Property Network. I have no idea what to expect. I've never done this one before. I know it's one of their flagship ones. It's been a bit of a cock up on dates, so I don't know whether I'm going to turn up to 100 plus, which they can have there, people, or whether I'm going to turn up to 20 people. It's all part of the fun and excitement, isn't it? The message, the same as always, it's about making sure you understand that the mindset and attitudinal and cultural aspects of your business are absolutely where you are going to find your greatest gains in your personal performance, and therefore in your business success. What's going on up here is driving your behaviours, it's driving your actions, and therefore driving your results. Catch you in a bit. Okay, so I've got here well early because I had to navigate the M4, the M3 and the M25. So if I didn't get here early, I wouldn't get here at all. So I've got an hour to wander around the Brooklands Museum. It's been quite a few years actually since I've been here. Got planes, got cars, I think that's it, planes and cars. So I thought, you know what, I've got about an hour to kill. I'll just pop in, do a quick once round, and I love planes, I love all things planes, I love all things cars, even old ones, believe it or not. Not as much as new ones, I'll be honest with you. Anyway, there you go. I mean, here, Formula One's in there. I'll show you around. Okay, so over my left hand shoulder here you can see the legendary Concorde. Now I grew up on the flight path to Heathrow Airport, so whenever this thing would go over it was caused quite a ruckus. Now when I was at school it flew almost completely directly over our playground, low, super low, and it was just so damn spectacular that every kid would just run across the playing field or run across the playground. We used to climb the fences and we'd wave and throw our arms around and shout at it because it was obviously completely and utterly spectacular. I'm going back a little while here. It was the 70s and very early 80s I'm talking about here. Anyway, an interesting sideline is that my aunt's cousin's husband, okay, I think that's the right relationship, I just know him as uncle, was actually one of the very first pilots of Concorde. I think that's the right relationship, I just knew him as Uncle Brian. Anyway, it was weird because we'd sit there and we'd wave to him and he would actually get a message to us saying that he was flying over the house, say at 3 o'clock, and if you waved, or we waved, he would spot us. I don't know if that was completely true, or whether it was something my mum and dad said or whatever else, but anyway, we would obviously wave and we would get the message back that he'd seen it. It's very possible he would fly directly over our house, we would wave, so who am I? Maybe it did literally happen that way. Here's the interesting thing, when I was at school, I'd sit there and say, my uncle's flying that plane, and of course, who believed me, right? Growing up in Hounslow and everything else, who believed me that my uncle, as I knew him back then, was flying this thing? Of course, nobody believed me, and there you go, I stopped telling people, so there you go, love it, the thought of it, spectacular. Really nice guy actually, no longer with us unfortunately, but yeah, absolutely spectacular stuff, right? What a shame it's still not flying, but there you go, a little bit of maybe interesting fact about, about my family life. Anyway, nobody don't believe me then, maybe you don't believe me now. Anyway, I'll keep showing you around. Okay, so you know you are definitely getting a little bit old when some of the stuff that you grew up with ends up in a museum. So whilst most of that in there is still a little bit before my time, there is definitely stuff in there that I remember. I remember seeing it flying over my head. I remember seeing them on the road. Damn, man, it's a wake-up call. Also, you get this amazing juxtaposition here because you leave all this old stuff and you come out to this like ultra-modern Mercedes World building and the Mercedes track and obviously the Mercedes cars and everything else. Just a little bit surreal, isn't it? Anyway, time now. Okay, I've got a little way yet. I've still got a little bit of time to hang out before heading in there for the networking event, and then I think I'm speaking 7 o'clock. I'll double check that when I go in there, but I'm pretty sure I'm speaking at 7 till 8, taking a bit of Q&A for about 10 or 15 minutes if there is in fact any questions that need answering. I like Q&A, it's really good. I always think, by the way, if you're in business, here you go, I'll give you a freebie right now. If you're in business, if you're a speaker, or on a panel or anything, if you're brave enough, bold enough and know your shit enough, definitely invite Q&A and do Q&A. It really separates people who can prepare a good speech or have a great PowerPoint presentation to talk themselves through from those people that truly understand their knowledge. So if you're brave enough to do it, whenever you do any speaking or anything, honestly, take the Q&A. They asked me here if I wanted Q&A. I could have said no. But for me, I say, yeah, the truth is, if I don't know the answer to something, I'm not going to pretend, I'm not going to bullshit or blag it, I'm going to say I don't know. The truth of the matter is, as long as the question's in my field, I'm going to have an answer for them. It might not be the only answer, it might just be my viewpoint, my perspective, or my take on something, but I'll have something to say on that. And that goes a long way to improving your credibility. It goes a long way to showing that that you are an expert in what you do. So if you know your shit and you're brave enough, do the Q&A. You'll separate yourself from those people that can do a really polished, pre-planned presentation, but maybe don't have the same kind of depth of knowledge that that you might have. Anyway, I'm going to chill for a little bit, and then I'm going to head on over there, and hopefully there'll be a room full of people waiting to hear what I've got to say. I'll check in just a little bit. Hope you're having a good day. In a world full of Mercedes, there is the lone Audi. It sort of sticks out a little bit conspicuous here in this car park, I'll be honest with you. Anyway, you will notice also conspicuously that I did not share much footage from tonight. The reason being, there was a bit of a cock-up. Let's come back to that light. So there was a little bit of a cock-up, in as much as with dates and stuff, and people not knowing what date it was, and head office not really communicating, and etc, etc. Still not 100% sure what happened. What I do know what happened is about 10 people turned up, and you know what, it's something in me, it's conditioned in me. I do it every single time. You know, when we first started doing this business, I had rooms with like 5-10 people in them. In fact, I remember really clearly one day when I had just 2 people in a talk. So when I come here, look, it's a bit of a cock up, you know. I was expecting maybe 50 people minimum. Who knows, maybe even more than that, maybe even heading up towards the 100 mark. They have had 200 plus people here. So obviously it's a disappointment in terms of numbers, but you know what? I still give everything I've got. And it was someone once said this to me. It was really, really, really wise, okay? And he said to me, he said, you know, he said, when you throw a straw up or you refuse to do what you're going to do, like refuse to talk or go on stage because there's only 10 or 20 or even 100 people there and you're expecting more, for example, you're punishing the people who have turned up. You're punishing the people that did come out to see you speak and everything else. And I've always had that kind of philosophy and that mindset. You know, it keeps me humble, right? You turn up here. So the room wasn't booked. There was no room. There was no venue. We'd just gone to the hotel, sat in the bar, and it's like 10, whatever, 11 people, whatever, just sitting around the bar. A bit of a Q&A, just talking, sharing some answers, sharing a bit of wisdom, hopefully, along the way, giving some pointers and stuff. And you know what? It was fun. It was great. Met some great people. I got to talk, which is what I came here to do, just not to the same numbers. Anyway, so I didn't share that with you because it would been very conspicuous me just filming 10 people around a bar. Not quite exactly what I turned up to do. But anyway, there you go with the... Hi, buddy. Okay, the security guard in a smart car just came round to rightly ask what the hell am I doing standing in this car park at 10 o'clock at night, talking to my camera. So it made me really laugh. Anyway, I love the fact they give the security guards smart cars, not real Mercedes. Anyway, there you go, that's my day today. I'm going to shoot off home now. It's really late, really tired, got an early start in the morning. We'll crack on with that and I'll catch you later. Cheers.